So what would you rightly and logically conclude if somebody makes a statement and then they laugh right afterwards? Well, you would rightly and logically conclude that they thought the statement was funny. Okay, that's just standard. It's just basic. It's just logical. So I posted a video about the fact, based on such a basic conclusion, that Bill Maher thinks that incestuous pedophilic child rape is funny. Why? Because he said this.
But this is the creepiest thing I've ever heard, and I've heard some creepy things from the Christian right. A purity ball is like a prom for a dad and his daughter, where dad gets in a tuxedo and the daughter gets in a gown, and they go to this ball, and he puts a ring on her finger and feeds her wedding cake, and she pledges to stay a virgin until she gets married. And then dad has sex with her in the car. No. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
But my father went to third base, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. No. And my favorite.
Of course, the statement's so shockingly unethical and disgusting. But hey, his audience is right along there with him, laughing it up. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Now, when I posted the video, I predicted, not much of a prediction, of course, in the info section that there are atheists who would come to the defense of the fact that Bill Maher thinks that incestuous pedophilic child rape is funny. And what they would do, instead of condemning him for that, they would attack me for pointing out the fact that he thinks it's funny. And wow, guess what happened in the comments section? Let's see. Well, atheists made excuses for Bill Maher, and they attacked me for pointing out what he did. Like I said, not much of a prediction, because that's the cult of personality, leader worship kind of standard that many atheists go by. You know, Bill Maher, he's one of our guys. We cannot believe what we just saw, so instead we'll make an excuse and we'll attack whoever pointed it out. Now, why was I able to make such a prediction? Well, one thing to think about is that if you hold to such a worldview that makes you make excuses for people that think that incestuous pedophilic child rape is funny, and then makes you attack the people who point that out, that might be a good indication that you need to formulate a new worldview. But it got me thinking, why? Why do they do that? Why do atheists do that? Why are they so desperate to protect their own and not condemn something so blatantly unethical and just disgusting all around? And why would they treat evidence? I mean, this is just a video and audio recording. It's right there in front of your face. You can view it. You can pause it. You can rewind it. It's right there. You could read the transcripts for that matter. Well, I think it's because of the way that atheists take evolution and turn it into a worldview, and that which comes with having to do that. Because biology is a science, but evolution is a philosophy. So let's say, for instance, you make a scientific observation about slight differences between finches, and then you plug a philosophy into that observation, and the philosophy tells you that therefore they must evolve not just come from one single kind of bird, but come from one common ancestor. Of course, the common ancestor being a mythological chimera, because evolution, well, it's a branch of cryptozoology. And so they're brought up under evolution to accept statements such as made by Francis Crick and Richard Dawkins, who literally state that as a biologist, you constantly have to keep in mind that what you're looking at was not designed. Okay, you have to constantly keep that in mind because you know what you're looking at was designed. So you have to force yourself to constantly repeat like some kind of brainwashing mantra. It was not designed, it was not designed, it was not designed. In other words, force yourself into believing that you're not seeing what you're really seeing. Then formulate a philosophical explanation for it. And let's replace the word explanation with the word excuse. They just invent an excuse just to explain away what they're literally looking at. And then, since they have taken what is supposed to be a theory about biology and they have turned it into a worldview, then they will attack anybody who dares to question their worldview. And that's why people get so heated about issues that are just supposed to be about biology. Because you're not really talking about biology. At least that's not what they hear. What they hear is you attacking the core of their worldview. And it seems to me that is why atheists can literally watch a video of a man proving by his actions that he thinks that incestuous pedophilic child rape is funny, and they refuse to believe what they just saw and heard. Then they reinterpret the evidence to fit their worldview. Oh, he must have done it because of that. Oh, he really wasn't doing that. He was really thinking the other. So they're inventing quaint little stories, things they could not possibly know. They're just little emotional band-aids because they're claiming to know what Bill Maher was really thinking or what really happened, what he was really up to. Without evidence, they're just inventing quaint little Darwinian stories. And then they turn and they attack you for pointing out the facts, for just providing a video, an audio, a transcript, for providing evidence that anybody could view, could hear, could read, and come to basic conclusions. So that, it seems to me, is what happened in this situation. And I seem to get a lot more comments about it on my backup channel than my regular channel. But yeah, it definitely is time to change your worldview when you act in such a manner. So it would be a display of some level of integrity to just come out and say, yeah, you know what? Bill Maher's a fellow atheist, so he's a comrade, but in this case, he was definitely inappropriate, and I do condemn him for it. Of course, you would have to provide a premise upon which to condemn him, because atheists love to just come out full guns blazing and have no premise upon which to base what they're doing, but that's another issue. So I think what we see is just the unfortunate byproducts of a Darwinian worldview, mindset, philosophy, and also even more evidence that atheism is really, at bottom line, nothing but an anti-Christian support group. Nothing but an anti-Christian support group. Nothing but an anti-Christian support group.